Rather lads, welcome back to Cossy's Arsenal podcast. My name is Cossy. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are in all parts of the world. Welcome back to the channel. Welcome back to a brand new video. We're going to be diving into Edu's interview with Sky Sports. He has been speaking about a lot of things. And I think what I loved about that is the focus on transfers, because we are in this transfer period and I wanted to hear what exactly are Arsenal planning? What is our transfer strategy? Who are we trying to sign next? And things like that. And he also spoke about a couple of things as why Arsenal refused to sign a couple of players from Borussia Dortmund because they don't have the right mindset. He also spoke about the reason as to why he asked the board to sack Unai Emery when he came in, and he said Unai Emery was not taking Arsenal in the right direction, and he felt right there and then we needed change. When he came in, he felt like Arsenal, everyone was comfortable, everyone was fucking okay, and he says, I was not okay with that. I was not comfortable, and I said, what is going on with this team? 10 years ago, 20 years ago, we were champions, we were invisibles, and now 18 years later, we are comfortable sitting 8th, 7th, 5th, and say that was unacceptable. And that is one of the reasons why he actually had to change the transfer strategy and the manager. So we're going to be talking about all that in the comment section below. But I want you to talk to me. Do you feel Edu has actually fulfilled the roles of a technical director? Is he doing well? In my opinion, at first, I was absolutely fuming because I think he had that little inexperience with the European markets, and he was really, really working very, very slowly. But right now, I feel he's working very, very surely. He's working well, and I'm going to say, despite the fact that he's working under the radar and many Arsenal fans don't understand that or don't really want that, there is nothing wrong with that as long as signings are coming in. You look at Alexander Zinchenko signing in what? In 24 hours or 38 hours. You look at Fabio Vieira signing within 24 hours. So the speed at which we are accomplishing the deals that we consider priorities is also very, very exciting. So we're going to be diving into his interview with Sky. Make sure you hit the like button and of course, let's get this video to 800 likes. Now, Arsenal have spent 121.5 million pounds this summer, and we are the biggest spenders in the market at the moment. So our technical director was asked a couple of questions regarding our transfer strategy and where the money is actually coming from. But first and foremost, was asked about how pleased he was with the latest signing of Alexander Zinchenko. And he said, we are so excited to have Zinchenko with us here because he's a player that we really, really targeted. He's a player that we really believe has the characteristics and the qualities that are going to increase our level in the squad for sure. The Zinchenko transfer was planned like 6 months ago to fit that position in the best way possible, in the way which Mikel Arteta really wants to play. Mikel, of course, knows more of him than anyone because they work together at Manchester City, but all the information around the player is top. Not only about his qualities as a footballer, but also as a person as well, which for us is very important to have a player like him in the squad. So that is on Alexander Zinchenko, and he says, I think we have prepared for every situation. We still feel the transfer window is very open, and the most important thing is to be prepared for everything, every scenario, because opportunities can happen. Clubs can approach us. Players probably want to go on loan, so there is lots still to do. But again, being prepared for me is the most important thing, and for sure we are very, very prepared for almost everything that will happen in this window. So that is on Alexander Zinchenko, planned for 6 months ago. I cannot really argue with that because according to The Athletic, even before we entered the transfer window, they said Arsenal were trying to sign a right back, a left back, a central midfielder, an attacking midfielder, and also a forward, actually 2 forwards. So it looks like this was fed into the media a couple of months ago, so I don't think Edu is lying about that. On Gabriel Jesus, on Gabriel Jesus and the signing, says Gabriel Jesus told me you are a big reason for joining the club. How does that make you feel? And Edu said, no. It's Arsenal. I'm just part of the process of when you go to sign a player. I'm there in front of the player, in front of the family to explain who we are. I think we as a club have to be proud to have a player like Gabriel Jesus play for us. And he says, asked when they asked whether they tracked Gabriel Jesus for a long time as well. And he said, for sure, this process really, I think, takes like 7 months in terms of understanding each other and talking to each other, because also he has a lot of other opportunities, and then but then he chooses because he understands who we actually are. Have you brought in the players you wanted despite not qualifying for the UEFA Champions League? I think that is a quality question. And then Eddie says, yes, 100%. 100% of them. I understand sometimes players want to play in the UCL and want to play Champions football, but I think we can offer something very, very special for the players as well. It is not only Champions League, but you can be part of a group of players which can achieve something very special for this club. And then I always ask them if they want to be part of the project we are building as we are doing. And then it says, I'm very, very sure we will do something very special for this club, and then when I explain to the players, they really understand it, and that's why they are here. Look, you know, one thing I'm gonna say here about UEFA Champions League is key. It's absolutely key, and I don't want to be part of those Arsenal fans out there saying UEFA Champions League does not really mean anything anymore. It really does. It absolutely does. But I think the very many factors in the market that influence the decisions of players and the decisions of clubs to go for certain players. For example, with Gabriel Jesus, he's looking at December. He's looking November, December at the World Cup, and he's going, if I can go to a club like Arsenal, a club that understands me and a club that can give me enough game time, I will sign for them. I will join them, and I'm not going to make any mistakes with that. And I think you just have to be very, very, frank and open with the player. You either sign for us. We don't have UCL, but we are playing you as a 9. We're gonna give you the salaries you want. We are playing you as a 9, and you have a high chance to play for Brazil as their number 9 if you play for us, because we're gonna give you 38 games of game time in that number 9 position. So there's so many factors with players like Fabio Vieira. I think that is quite easy. Yes, there are clubs interested in him, but at the moment, UCL is not the priority. At the moment, his development is the priority, and playing under a manager that can trust him and tell him you're gonna be playing game week in, game week out. So let's not overrate the UEFA Champions League, and well, let's not underrate it as well. Being asked, have you met the players that are known right for Arsenal? This is what Eddie said. Interesting topic here. He said, yes, for sure. The reason to meet the players, to meet the families and talk to the agents, of course, they have to understand us, but I have to understand them as well. If they fit the model in all senses, then okay, we carry on. But when I see something which I'm not really comfortable with, I actually move on. He was asked about Rafinha, how close were we to signing Rafinha, and then he said, this is what he said. Interesting. He said, people think we went in too deep about Rafinha because Rafinha was everywhere. It's fair. We did have some conversations with Deco, because Deco is his agent and I have a good relationship with him. We are friends. I just said to Deco, can you explain to me the situation with Rafinha? And he was clear. Edu, we have a good relationship, but I'm not going to lie to you. His idea is to go to Barcelona because he's dreaming to go to Barcelona, and we have been talking to Barcelona since a long time ago. And then he also says, okay, thank you very much. If something happens, then just let me know, because I can explore and understand the situation. If not, no problem, and we can carry on. We can carry on with our relationship. So, according to Edu, Arsenal did not go as deep as it was reported in the media. I'm quite fascinated if he's trying to mean that we did not even bid for the player, because initially reports came out and they claimed and we reported it here, that Rafinha had agreed to join Arsenal. That is, if Barca didn't have the money to pay up. We also reported that Arsenal had gone in with an initial bid of around, I think it was it 47 million pounds, which was rejected by Leeds United, and more stories. But Edu says nothing of that happened. We actually talked to the agent, and the agent was quite frank with us. Interesting. Very, very interesting. In terms of moving on players, if it is not as easy as everybody thinks about it, Eddie says no, but it's part of our job to try and create some opportunities for the players. I think the most important thing is to make the player understand why he is here and why he needs to go, and then we have to create some possibilities with the players' agents and try to find out the best solution possible for the player. As soon as you give to them a clear idea of what you want to do, it helps the situation. It's a challenge because you have to find clubs, situations, and loans. But again, if you can't be direct to a player in a very respectful way, then that helps a little bit to make the best decision. Interesting. I thought it was easy to move on players until Edu came in, and I realized how hard it was for a club to move on players. How important is it that you and Arteta agree on a signing? He said it is important 100%. He said it's important 100%. I'm never going to sign a player which Mikel is not comfortable with. Never. That's not my style, and for sure, it is not the Arsenal style. If we decide to work together, then the decision needs to be together, which is unanimous. It is not Mikel Arteta's signings. It is not Edu signings. It is the Arsenal signings. So that for me is the most important thing for people to understand. I always say people sometimes give the credit to me or to Mikel, but the credit has to go to Arsenal. We are Arsenal. We are working together, and the decision we make is together. Around one decision is not only Edu and Mikel, it's a lot of people around those decisions. The most important message to the fans and for the people to understand is that we sign players for Arsenal, and they are Arsenal's decisions. Of course, they are Edu's decisions. Of course, no need to worry about all this PR. They're Edu's decisions, aren't they? How impressed are you with the job? How impressed were you when you interviewed Mikel Arteta for the job? It says, wow, when I spoke to him over the phone to introduce myself and talk to him, finally enough, we stayed on the phone for an hour talking about everything, not just football, but families, concepts, ideas, and behaviors. When I switched off the phone, I thought I thought that's maybe something really special and what we are probably looking for in the club. Then when we decided to go there and meet Mikel and talk about the ideas, he was almost prepared for everything. He was really impressive on his ideas, his style, and the way he wanted to play. So it was amazing. That's why he is here with us. On how forward thinking is he for this Arsenal project and for the Arsenal side? He says we have a plan really in place, so we are probably in the middle of our project. We are in the middle of this project. Interesting. We need to keep improving the quality in the squad. We have to make important decisions to make our squad better every year. So we have to improve, and improve. Here we have to always think about winning. I think the club was born to win things because of the size of this club, and that we have to always think about winning. Every single year, we have to be better and better and better. Looking ahead to the new season, do you want more than top four? Yeah, and he says, yeah, for sure. I respect, and we have to be realistic for these situations. But why not put here that I want to win again? I want to be there again as soon as possible. Why not? So what's your target this season? It says, with all respect, even being realistic, I cannot think less than winning things. So are we gonna win anything this summer? interesting to see. What's your promise to the Arsenal fans with the transfer window still open? He says we will keep working really, really hard for them. That is Edu speaking to Sky Sports, and he says with the transfer window still open, we are actually working hard to bring in more players. So make sure you keep your eyes peeled open. Quality, quality, quality. Better, better, better. Improve, improve, improve. That is the Edu Gaspar interview with Sky Sports. I think he's really spoken about very interesting key points there when it comes to the transfer market. So you will not be very, very annoyed when we sign a player very, very late. When it take a lot of time to sign a player, it always works like that.